Good morning or afternoon, depending on what time you are listening to this podcast, and welcome to yet another episode of Do Geese Have Udders, the show where we ask the unanswered and answer the unasked, looking at news and online stuff too. I'm Michael Gooch, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend Matthew Thompson. You right, Matt?
Oh, the passion. I felt it.
Good. Then let's start the show.
Michael.
Ah, Matt, God, what do you want?
Shut up. Nah, I'm joking. So, little birdie told me, the bluebird, the tweet, I'm going to make this chair stop squeaking, told me that you went to Edinburgh. And I saw your Instagram.
Yeah, the little birdie did tell you, and it was also probably me as well, because at some point I think it was episode 80-something or other.
Have you told anyone about the podcast?
I did casually mention it. I said that I do a podcast. So I can't remember what episode this was now. I think it was episode 32. Not 32, 82. I said that I was going to Edinburgh because I was invited to be a part of the network scheme at the Edinburgh TV Festival.
Yeah,
and it's one of the most amazing things to happen to me, bearing in mind the amount of trips you get to go on and you talk about. I've finally been somewhere.
You've done it. Tell me about it.
I've been somewhere.
Tell me about it.
And I mean, yeah, so the television festival happened a couple of weeks ago from when this episode's gone out. And it was, I think, a week long or just under a week long. And it was essentially where loads of TV people, mainly behind the scenes people, would come and just sort of network. And they would do talks and attend these seminars and things. Yeah. And it's a really expensive thing, it turns out, to go to. If you're, wanting to attend there yourself, it's cost like £1,000, I think, for a ticket.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I get to go there for free and mingle with people
is
amazing. And I wasn't the only one. There were 59 other people on this scheme as well. And we'll start from the top for it, because this is my first time in Scotland, first time in Edinburgh. And I've told you already about how booking my flight went.
Yeah.
And so I'm now at the airport, nice and early. I've got all my stuff. I've got a small holder-ish type of bag because I didn't want to pay that massive amount to take other bags. So I've literally just got whatever will fit under my seat.
Yep.
And I packed that bag so well. I was so well impressed with how much I managed to get in the bag and pack it the right size. I was there from a Tuesday to Friday, so however many days that is, and I was so annoyed that no one had bothered stopping me and saying, "Oi, would you mind just checking your bag, fits and all that?" Yeah. No one bothered checking me. I'd done all that work and no one stopped me.
Oh,
anyway,
well, I think you should be happy that no one stopped you. You have to open it.
I think I would have been so angry if someone had said, "Oh no, like your shoes don't fit or whatever, you got to pay an extra £60 for that." I would have been outraged. But I got on the plane, lovely window seat, it was wonderful. Put my earphones in, 10 minutes into the journey, just ready to listen to some DGHU, and one of my earphones fell out and fell under the chair.
Oh, no.
And I couldn't reach it for the rest of the flight.
Did you not just get it?
I couldn't reach it. The chairs were so close together, I could not reach under me to get it. I then took a picture under my seat, and I could not see it in the picture.
Was there someone behind you?
No, well there was, but I mean, no one I could really ask to look for it, because I can't see it anyway. With my phone, I can't see it.
It's probably in front of you.
And so there's my mind wandering now for the whole entire flight. Oh God, has it slipped down a tiny hole? And is it going to make its way to the engine? Is the engine going to explode? Am I going to kill all these people on this plane?
Well, that's a bit overthinking.
That's how I would. But I knew it must have been around here somewhere, because my other earphone hadn't disconnected from it.
And so, it's still in the plane. Okay?
It's still in the plane, is what I got from the whole journey. Then when I got to Edinburgh, I had to wait for everyone else to get off, or out of my row. Then I had to lay on the floor, and I reached under my chair, and it took a while. I couldn't see it, and then I saw it. Then I pulled it out, opened up my little earphone case to put it in. Yep. Put it in, looked down at it, realised I've picked up a blackcurrant jelly baby, and I was like, "Oh no!" And
that's not my headphone.
Chuck it back on the floor, and then, I've not got time to put it in a bin. It's not my jelly baby. I'm back on the floor, and in the end, I'm like,
"Oh no!"
Then I'm like, "There it is," and then reach it, grab it, finally get up. I look so happy, and then I've just got sort of like the air hostesses looking at me like, "Why is he still on the plane? What's he doing fiddling under the chairs?
What's he trying to hide in this plane?"
And I had to say, like, just trying to get my earphone. And yeah, so that was my arrival in stressful
Mate,
arrival.
the
in Edinburgh.
earphone stories are insane. Like when I lost mine, insane.
Yeah, you say you lose them all the time.
I got it from the train track.
And so then I got to with a tape measure, and so I got to Edinburgh straight away on a bus. Their buses up there are absolutely amazing.
What colour?
They are blue. Well, this one was a blue bus, but they are so spacious inside. They've got all these they got Wi-Fi. They tell you exactly where you are. They tell you what's around there, like on the screens.
Mate.
The seats are so wide, and you've got big headrests.
If your buses ain't red, your town is dead. That's how it goes here in London, innit? Yeah. Could you use an Oyster card up there?
No, you can't.
Dead.
It was a lovely bus, and so I got on that. Went past Edinburgh Zoo and things. And then I got to the main central bit of Edinburgh, which, is around Edinburgh Castle. And so got about 3 hours to kill up to this point. And so I go and have a look round at Edinburgh Castle. It was very nice. And I brought my schedule with me so I can remember the order that I did things upon arrival. Because it was a TV-based thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to say about all the people I met, because I don't want to share everybody's names out on here, but there are some people I mentioned.
You don't want to say all 59 names?
Well, no, not them, as in the actual TV professional people at the moment.
Oh, their names are out there.
So, I mean, I've got my name badge I got given here as well. Look, it's me. It's there. It's my name on a badge. Back in the bag that goes. So, once in Edinburgh, so it starts off with the registration opening. We all just sort of, get to know each other a little bit.
Yes, say hello.
Sit in this little room. And there are so many people, you don't get to meet everybody. Like, I can't remember 2/3 of the people's names that were there, just because of it. That's twice the amount of people I had in uni, and less than a week to sort of meet everyone. Mm-hmm. So that was my one downside, I think, about it, that there were just so many people in my group alone. Then after that, we get a secret speaker, whose name I've written in a notebook.
When you said that, I pictured like a portable speaker. I don't know why.
Because you carry a portable speaker around with you everywhere.
I do.
I've got my notebook of notes here, and I wrote down how names. So we had a couple of secret speakers, and we weren't allowed to know who they were prior to it.
Okay.
Because some of them weren't going to be speaking at the main festival itself.
Cool.
And so the first person, our secret speaker, their name is Jay Hunt, and they, you can Google these people. Basically, it's someone where I bet even at the moment, in the nicest way possible, you're like, I've got no idea who that is. No. But they have done so many. They are currently the head of commissioning for Apple TV Plus.
Okay,
in
never
Europe.
heard of it.
That's a huge role, and in the past work they've done, I think they were a head of commissioning, I think, for Channel 4, BBC One, Channel 5. They have done so much. It was amazing to hear from them.
Yep.
Then after that, we this is upon arrival day.
Sorry.
Then we get to meet our alumni or some other people who have been on the scheme in the past, and they were just sort of sharing their experiences, what they're up to now, what they took away from it. Some lovely people there. Then we get to have a break and go and see our accommodation where we'll be staying. It's student accommodation. I went to uni in London, so I didn't stay in student accommodation. I just lived at home. So this is my first time in student accommodation. Yeah, different. Definitely different.
You didn't, did you?
No, so it's definitely a different experience for me.
Nice experience, right?
Yeah, it was. Well,
home room shared.
It's like those. It's like
bunk beds.
It's a flat, but sort of you've all got a shared.
Is it like Will's one?
I'd never went to Will's one, but it's like you've got a shared sort of like eating area, and living area, but then you've got your own.
And it's sort of floored.
Rooms.
It's
like
so it's
literally like that. So student accommodation. Then we had a talk from Fremantle. I'm sure some of you out there have seen Fremantle on the credits for loads of programs. They're a huge company. And after that, we have a quiz night where we get to meet our mentors. So we're all going to get a mentor for the year, who sort of like who are now aware of the types of stuff.
How long were you there?
Well, we were only there at the festival for under a week because that's only how long it's on for. But then we, as part of this scheme, we get a mentor to stay in contact with for the next year.
Oh, I get it. That's cool.
And so mine's name was Rebecca, and she has done some incredible work. She's done great work. She's done some script editing on some of the later series of Doctor Who. I'm like, that's good. That's wonderful.
The bad writing one.
No, that was at the beginning of that series. We don't talk about this. She's done the good work, and I like Jodie Whittaker. And yeah, I'm very looking forward to doing some work with her, or her helping me get into the industry a little bit. Next morning, bong, rooster alarm clock.
Bong.
now go and do some of our workshops. And our workshops, we were all in different groups for that, depending on what stuff we wanted to work on. Some people want to do a live show, but I didn't want to really do that because I kind of did that at university. And some of these people are doing things that they've never done really anything in the media before, but they want to move into this industry. So I know someone who was, they either were a lawyer or they were doing something in law where they're actually earning quite a lot, and they wanted to stop that and move into the media industry. So
That's a
so
weird
that's
jump.
that's
Maybe 'cause
why
you
I
have
thought it
lots
was
of
interesting.
money.
I'd do the other way around, definitely. If someone asked me to be a lawyer, yes.
I bet it's
Happily.
more. I have so much money from being a lawyer. What can I do? Just be famous.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not how this necessarily works. So it's not necessarily about, again, getting on screen, getting your name well known. Or it's more about getting your name well known than your face well known, I guess, is one way to put it. But I decided to go and do the pitching and development workshops because I can talk to a crowd quite easily. I enjoy working on these ideas. And so ours had to be a dating or reality show, which are two genres I don't watch a lot of.
That's your
However, we ended up choosing my idea to work on, so I was very impressed with that. And then we had to go and the following day we'd be pitching them to a BBC Three commissioner who would give feedback on our pitching skills and our ideas. Later on that night, on the Wednesday, we went to our first networking event and drinks event. And again, this comes down to I've drunk so much alcohol this month compared to like any time.
Did you get
and
drink then?
Yeah, so I had a wine. I don't really drink wine, but I had a wine. And we went to the National Museum of Scotland, and yeah, it was just wonderful. So many people in there. The thing about the TV industry and all these people that are here, they all want to be there. They've all paid to be there. They're so friendly. Every single person there was so nice and so friendly. There was only one miserable person I think I met in my entire time in Scotland, and that was a cyclist who said that we got in his way when we were walking on the path. But then he was genuinely followed by another cyclist who went, "We're not all like that," and carried on. And yeah, so my advice for people networking based on what we were told about networking, because it's a scary thing. Networking, going to sort of introduce yourself to people.
It is.
The advice is to literally go up to them, just break the ice by just saying, "Hi, I'm just doing some networking," or "Hi, I'm a part of the network," whatever. And that worked so well.
Bro?
I met lovely people, got some lovely contacts.
Any numbers?
Email addresses.
Any girls?
Well, that's not how
I'm
this works.
asking the questions
That's
the
not-
audience
no,
wants to know.
No, it's not. No.
I'm
No, like,
sorry,
it's-
everyone.
Matt, it's networking, not speed dating.
Please check out our Twitter for all of Michael's love dates, updates. What do you call
Love dates. Is that really what you just called them?
them? Love updates.
It'll be quiet for a while then, won't it? Anyway, so
No.
after that, but I was just interested in the museum itself. The museum was wonderful. They had a whale skull in there. It was awesome. Obviously, trying to network with people, and at the
quite
same
big.
time, I'm just like, oh, look, there's a skull.
I really got distracted by the whale skull.
And so then comes the next secret speaker we have on the following day, which is... Oh, I don't know how to phrase this. So again, we weren't told who it was going to be.
Yeah.
But it's just us network lot, so us 60 in a room. And then the door opens and this man walks down the middle. Whole room goes silent. Stephen Moffat has entered the room. I don't know if you know who Stephen Moffat
I
is.
do not. Is he a moth?
But everybody has seen his work. He has written so much of Doctor Who. He wrote Sherlock, the
Okay.
BBC one.
Okay.
He has done basically. He is a huge name in TV writing. One of the biggest names in TV
He's like
writing.
the Stan Lee
He
in
is-
comic books.
He is literally that for like
Okay.
TV, and we were like, "Oh my god, Stephen Moffat is in the same room as us, and he's talking to us." There was genuinely a girl, I think, a couple of rows in front of me, and like she was shaking. Because we idolise him. There's people like him. This sounds like really nerdy and really passionate, but like
It is. Yeah, I feel the passion
But-
and I sense the nerd.
But this is the thing of what a lot of us say. It's like a lot of the work of writers like Stephen Moffat, who wrote stuff like Doctor Who and Sherlock, and whenever a picture of like Hacker the dog like appears, and we're like, it's Hacker the... That's the TV that wanted to get us into the industry. That's
Yeah.
what made us want to go. We want to work in that. And so having him sat in front of us talking to us was incredible. And I think in my notebook, I think I only wrote down his name and like one quote because I was so engrossed into what he was saying.
Just recorded it.
Oh, where is it? Where is it?
Oh, I've lost my tic tac. Sorry, go on. Tell me.
There we
Hit me
go.
with the
Yeah,
passion.
I wrote down one thing, but I'm. Oh, I wrote down one thing, but there's two things I remember from him. There's one which I'm going to paraphrase because the other one is definitely not podcast friendly. But he was a lovely guy. He says essentially, if you want to make it in the world and in TV, his perspective is just be a nice person. Like, it's not that difficult. If you're a horrible person, people will not want to work with you again.
Like Ellen.
And I'm like, in a way. And that's why I'm like, that's what I want to hear. I'm a nice guy. And then the other thing I wrote down, which is for all you people out there who think that you're, struggling with stuff, or you are writing something and you just can't get through anything anymore, and writer's block is holding you back. According to Stephen Moffat, if you have a setback, it means you've done something right, because you're going the right way. And that was my advice that I got from Stephen Moffat.
Did you just admit you were a nice guy?
I'm a nice guy. Do you not think I'm a nice guy?
Not from the definition I know.
Oh.
I've always lived like, if you think you're a nice person, you're not.
Oh, I'm a horrible person then, Matt.
Yeah,
I'm the
because you can
worst.
always be nicer. And also, a nice guy is something completely different to what you're thinking.
And so then back to my trip.
Sorry, moving
that
on.
makes me feel bad.
Go on, nice guy.
No, so then we went to something called the MacTaggart Lecture, this was in the main Edinburgh. What was it called? It's the Edinburgh International Conference Centre.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where everybody is now. This is where everybody is dying to get into.
All 59 of them.
No, we're not even. No, to everyone at this festival now. This is loads of people are trying to get into this room, but we've got booked seats already because we're part of the network scheme. And we get to go and see Emily Maitlis doing a talk. Now, some of you might have seen this trending on Twitter or online. And essentially, if you don't know who she is, she's a journalist. She used to work for the BBC, but doesn't anymore. And she said so much. I'm not going to repeat it all, but she said so much in the way of how the world's changing and the news is changing. But the one thing I guess I remember her saying is how in the news it's hard to be unbiased.
True.
You need to be unbiased, but it's hard. And it gets harder when the news is so just unbelievable. And so one example, this is definitely paraphrasing exactly how she said it. I mean, she's a newsreader. She said it fantastically. But she was talking about the Trump era of when he was talking about, hey, shove bleach in your body, that'll solve the COVID.
Oh, yeah. Stupid.
And I think she said she was talking to a representative or a spokesperson from Trump, and she's saying, how can you say this? Don't do this or whatever. It's going to kill somebody or whatever. Correct. But then she's got somebody in her ear who's, just because it's their job, is saying, remember to be unbiased about this. And she's like, how can you be unbiased?
Yeah, it's stupid.
About something like that. But I mean, you can. I think the whole entire thing is on YouTube now, so I mean, go and watch that if you want to ever listen to it. It was fantastic to listen to.
I will.
And I've got my days mixed up because after that is when we went to the Museum of Scotland. But I've already said about that already. Then we go on to Thursday. Thursday's our last full day there. We do our last bit of the workshops before we go and pitch them now to a BBC Three commissioner. I made a whole entire room of people laugh on many occasions. I'm counting this as my Fringe audition. And for the Edinburgh Fringe, and I had a great time doing it. There's a video out there of me doing it, although I think you have to pay. I think you have to pay for it because it's on the Edinburgh TV Festival's page, and obviously there's loads of talks on there.
What are you doing
by important people? Well, not just of me, just of everybody else is
Everyone
talking all the
they're
the
doing
stuff
it all
there.
together. Or
Matt, shut up.
Sorry.
And so that's why I don't want. I originally would have liked to have played some of my audio here, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to risk getting in trouble for it.
Valid.
But it essentially made people laugh. It was good fun. And after that, some people then from another workshop who were writing scripts for Hollyoaks or a Hollyoaks episode, they had a live reading. They had some of the cast there.
Yeah.
That was followed by a review show of the Edinburgh TV Festival, which another workshop did. They did that live show, and some of them were filming like little VTs and things. That was great to watch. And then after that, we had the Meta after party, which was now we went to a different place. We went to the George Hotel in Edinburgh, and it was another networking event that was being hosted or sponsored by Meta, the Facebook company. And that was fantastic. I mean, the second I walked in, there's this big foam of the letters Meta, which it took like 2 minutes for someone to turn that to say meet. So that was going on. Then they had the Metaverse in one corner, which I didn't queue up for, mainly because the queue was too long for that, and I wanted to go and network with people before they became too drunk and couldn't give me their emails. And again, met some very lovely people there. It was a fantastic experience. And again, I don't drink that much, and yet there I was drinking. Nursing on a white wine for the whole entire night.
You're changing, bro.
So came then our following day. That was just another time when we really got to network with... No, another thing. Quick, rewind. Also went to the Edinburgh TV Awards show, which was hosted by Sophie Duker, who won the last series of Taskmaster, and that was a lovely thing to listen to. She was doing some stand-up pretty much before she announced the awards.
Nice.
And then back onto the last day, Friday. We got our last chance to sort of network with people, met some lovely people. I think the last person I got a chance to talk to, I won't say who they are, but I've got their email, and I'm really hoping something comes out of it. Fingers crossed.
I bet it will.
And then after that, we had some spare time to do one last thing, I guess, that we wanted to attend, because all of this was planned out for the network scheme. There were loads of other talks going on, and some of them we obviously had to miss because we've got all of this arranged for us. So I know there was a His Dark Materials talk and panel at one stage. I saw or got a glimpse of the Ulrich Bernison puppet head that they used for reference on set. Someone going around with that, and it was a huge thing. It was great to see. And there's also BBC's Ghosts talk as well, which I know some people wanted to see, but they didn't get time to catch that. And so this was the last time where we got told, go and do what you want now. So we're looking through the book, but like, what other lecture is going on right now, or other seminar? And then I, in the end, went to go and see Rose Ayling-Ellis's talk. And if you don't know who she is, you'll definitely remember when I describe her. She was the deaf actress who also won Strictly that year for the famous scene of where there was just no music in the middle of it. Wonderful listening to her talk. I think her talk is also online as well on the Edinburgh TV Festival's YouTube channel. Very inspiring about disabilities and how it's represented on TV. Loved it so much. I overall loved my experience in Edinburgh. I then had to wait for about 6 hours for my plane. And so what to do during those 6 hours whilst I was in Edinburgh? I've got to either go to the zoo, perhaps, but the zoo closes.
Did you go to the zoo?
No, it closed at 6 p.m. And so I couldn't go there. Then I thought, I'll go back to the National Museum of Scotland, have a bigger look round there. No, I closed at 6 p.m. As well. And then I thought, the Fringe is on. Someone I like must be performing at the Fringe. And sure enough, I got to go and see Glenn Moore. And Glenn Moore is a comedian. I guess some people mostly will know him from either Absolute Radio or Mock the Week. He's done some appearances on.
Yeah.
I think he's a really great comic. I love his one-liner so much. He was so quick. I'm so glad I saw him. And we'll definitely seeing him again when he brings that tour around to London, I think early next year. And yeah, then that was my trip in Edinburgh. It was fantastic. And the only other one thing I guess that I forgot to mention about Edinburgh, because it's ended now by the time this podcast has gone out, is that there was a bin strike all the way through all in Edinburgh and across loads of areas of Scotland. And essentially just no garbage people were collecting the bins from, I think it was the 18th of August to the very end of it.
So was there rubbish everywhere?
There was rubbish beyond everywhere. The solution seemed to be get more bins, because these bin people, they know what they're doing. They knew that the Fringe was going on, TV festival, there's a film festival, the Tattoo was on, loads of things were going on. They knew that it would make an impact unless they got their way. And so there's so many bins, so much rubbish everywhere. But nobody told me this until 2 hours into my stay in Edinburgh. The whole entire time, I'm just going around going, gee, the Scottish are disgusting, aren't they? Look at the amount of rubbish everywhere. And then my mum was like, oh, no, haven't you heard there's a bin strike? I was like, yeah,
well, they didn't want to
so
tell you,
much sense.
You wouldn't go. Bring your own bins.
And so, yeah, that was my experience in Edinburgh in the TV festival. I mean, I've got a book as well. I'm in the guide, Matt. Look, I mean, the listeners can't see. Look, it's me. It's me. Look, it is there. There I am.
Holding your glasses, the classic pose.
I'm in a book. It's wonderful. Yeah. Might be the first and only time I ever get to really talk about a trip that I've been on and Matt hasn't on this show.
True. I went to that. You just didn't see me.
What, Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Who'd you go and see?
The Rubbish Men. I was interested in their cause, so I went to see their protests because I think of the little man.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for listening. Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. Don't forget to give that follow or subscribe button a click so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And why not check out our Twitter and Discord too, where we post updates, behind the scenes stuff and just general other news about the show. Links in the description below. Got any topics or questions you think need a proper answer or have yet to even be asked? Drop it in the comments below or send us a tweet. Until next time.